There's no other sweeter instrument right now than the pan right now. It's all over. You're not seeing hang drums all through America. You're not seeing hang drums all through Brazil and all kind of thing. You're seeing them more on the Eastern Hemisphere. But right now, you're seeing pan throughout the world, from Africa, Australia, straight up. Nigeria, straight up to Asia, all the way back to the U.S., to Canada. My boy Foster and them up there doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's spreading. The culture is out there, though, you know what I mean? And this is why I love pan, and this is why it's so dangerous.
So this is the Three Pannists podcast. We're here to discuss on episode 1 the concept of pan is danger and pan is in danger. Really discovering the nuances in the use of the word danger through personal experiences growing up in the pan community.
As a young youth playing the steel drum, I learned myself that it is a dangerous community.
Indeed
Here,
it is.
Brooklyn, New York, rough streets, you know.
The
So
roughest.
I take great pride in the community I've come from, but I'm aware of the dangers.
Indubitably. Freddy Harris, how do you feel about this?
Y'all sounded like the lady from Panorama, so y'all sounded like the straight Brooklyn judge right now. 365 points and all kind of madness. We gonna give you the real talk here on this. We gonna show you how dangerous pan is, how dangerous pan can be and will be in the future. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Well, first of all, I like to talk about pan came from danger. Not just pan is danger, or pan is in danger, or pan in danger. Pan came from danger. Basically, in the early half in World War II, the guys would jump across the fence into the army bases, and they would throw the drums over the wall to their friends, and then they would jump back across the wall. They would bring them back to the villages. Remember, we talking early Trinidad and Tobago, we talking early Africanism and all that stuff, so we still talking villages and stuff. So they would come back to the villages like Laventille, one of the key villages in this movement and this progression, and they would beat up the drums and bang, bang, bang all through the night, blah, 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 make noise in all the neighbors' head and XYZ. And then, as a return, as a form of serenading the neighbors and giving back for beating up and banging up in the neighbor's head, they would come out. This is what Carnival was about too. They would come out and parade through the streets and serenade the neighbors and the neighborhood through pan around the neck and things like that, and go through forming a little parade kind of thing, whatever the case is, to give back. But what happened is the police didn't like that in them days. So what? The police would come, beat up all the pan men, pull them to the side, arrest them, big fights for no reason, all kind of craziness. Like, this is what I mean with pan comes from danger.
Yeah.
They would beat them up, arrest them. That was in the early 40s. What's ironic about it is that in the 50s, mid-50s or so, the police had a steel ban. You know, because you got a police ban in Trinidad. You know what I'm saying? You're going to say, this is how dangerous pan is, that it bores its own way into stuff too. You know, you're going to police beating you up for playing pan on the streets to the police having a steel ban a couple of years later. That's heights. We ain't even reached the 60s yet. It's so infectious that when you hear one time, you got to get, it's like when they say once you pop, you can't stop. When you hear one time, you come running to, I watch little kids turn all around in the sand, put sand in their mouth, listening to me play pan. It's just so, listen, Iman, you know the kind of gig, you know I turn up, yo. You know what time of day it is. I watch a lady strip in front of me just from playing. She just loving the notes that she's hearing. Clothes coming off. Pan is the only instrument I actually got to feel like a rock star.
Yeah, that is
Iman,
dangerous.
you've been on gigs where there's been crowds of people chanting your name as a pan man.
Absolutely.
That you've seen this thing live. This is things where you actually get to feel like a rap star. Women chasing you left and right. People just want to be your friend. Everybody giving you stuff. You're just having all this fun because of the drum. So deeper than pan, let's take it back to the drum. The drum itself, from time, like we had a little private conversation earlier. The drum itself is a dangerous instrument just because of the drum. I mean, that was the first instrument used to talk and carry communications and carry language, and maybe we couldn't even say ooh, ah, the right way and all of that good stuff. It was the drum doing all the talking. So that is the danger of what we're playing. All we're doing is playing a melodic drum, which is now called a steel drum. But the drum, when you carrying the drum, that's a sword on your back. Automatic sword. You know, so it's dangerous like a sword. When you pull out your drum and you start to play for people, you hit the heart, you hit the spinal cord. Hit all stems in the brain that they didn't even know that could touch.
Right.
Make people feel all kind of ways they've never felt before in their lives. You know how it go?
Yeah.
How's the first time when you first heard a Panorama band and that spread of all them about 100 instruments hitting you at one time?
Especially
how dangerous
live.
is that? Live?
Especially
now,
live.
We're not talking about over the net.
No.
I'm talking about live in the panyard or live at Panorama itself at the competition.
Yeah, because you
know?
feel it just bust through your chest and you start like vibing with it immediately.
It does. It spreads all over your skin. It's steel, you know. It's not. Remember, you're not dealing with voices. You're not dealing with wood. Even a piano is based on wood. You understand what I'm saying? These tones are very. You're dealing with steel. It's like man of steel. We talking Superman thing right now. You dig what I'm saying? That's how dangerous pan is. That's dangerous, baby. You could get deafened. Them tuners, why you think they be putting on their headphones and they be banging out them drums? This man on steel.
Yeah.
When that person making a violin, he don't got on no headphones on his head. It ain't that kind of power going in, that kind of danger going into us to making a violin, or that kind of danger going into making a piano. Taking a drum that's not concaved and concaving it 8 inches down.
The amount of work that has to just go into making this.
Work and power.
Yeah.
Force, energy. Just to make that drum. Come on, you know what it is, Iman. You live in a panyard.
Yeah.
You know, utopia and all that good stuff. I mean, it's like you sleep there. I mean, you know what time of day it is.
Oh yeah.
That ain't nothing regular. You could get they say some people go crazy listening to too much steel.
Wait,
True
are
talk.
you crazy?
Just a little bit. Just that much.
That's what I thought.
But you know, one of the other things I would like to take up too is Pan taking all of our kids out of the ghettos and the hoods and giving us scholarships like me and you, who was fortunate enough to get scholarships to go ahead and further our education, you know, get degrees through playing a pan. Some of my friends laughed at me and said, "You got a scholarship to be garbage can, son? You crazy." Remember, this is back in '98 right now. So
I got it in 2005. What you mean? You
so
wanna play
everybody
cookie pans?
you got a scholarship to play garbage cans and but the whole thing is pan is now in that place right now. It's so dangerous that it's empowering the youth of tomorrow. They seen it as a way out of the hood. They seen it as a way as becoming the next rap star, a superstar. They seeing it, you know, this is why us at the top, like me and the Imans and all these great panelists out there, the Andy Novels and all these other great guys that's out there need to empower the younger ones coming up, because this thing is very dangerous.
Yeah, it's not even just setting an example, but paving the path, letting them
Yes.
there's so many different avenues within pan that you can be successful.
Yes. You don't just have to put 2 sticks in your hand and be the greatest soloist.
Yeah.
You can teach from a theoretical perspective. A tenor pan is so dangerous. It's set up in fifths and fourths. I mean, I don't want to get too technical on our little podcast, but I mean, fifths and fourths, a tenor pan alone, the most dangerous instrument in the world. It's set up to the circle of life, not the circle of fifths and fourths. The circle of fifths and fourths is the circle of life, which is the harmonic series. The harmonic series is the circle of life. A lot of people don't understand that. That's why it's called the circle of fifths and fourths. And it go round and round. It's a continuous pattern that never stops. It's like infinity. You understand? That's how deep the tenor pan. If you put up the circle of fifths and fourths and you put the tenor pan right there, it's the same exact thing. Nothing changes.
Right.
Yes, it's the same exact thing. It's nothing. You have to just put it right there. Boom. That's how dangerous the instrument is. We actually capitalized on some of the mistakes that were made with a lot of the other instruments throughout the years, and we put it into the steel drum. It's like the last state getting the last technology. It's like why Florida highways look so great right now, because they got the last of the buildup. So all the mistakes that were made into New York City roads and all that kind of stuff, bitch, we got the first of the buildup. We didn't make the mistakes. They didn't make it in Florida. So now them highways and Cali and all of that, they built. You dig what I'm saying? This is what pan is. The last of all the musical information crammed into one instrument. You understand the heights of that? Yeah. That's dangerous, fellas. I don't know how y'all feel about that. But that's too much danger for me, tell you the truth. I feel like Wolverine or something now. You know what I'm saying? That's the heights of what we're doing. You know, like I said, we playing the drum, baby.
Yeah.
Pan is danger. Pan is danger. Pan is danger.
I absolutely agree. Pan is danger. Pan is incredibly powerful. It's something that has taken, as you were saying, the kids today, kids I grew up with, kids under me, maybe 5 years or so, they're turning into entrepreneurs and taking this on their back for themselves, and I don't even think they realize what they're doing with this. That they're creating bands with rappers and poets and dancers and creating just avenues for themselves, and they're feeling empowered by the pan and empowering the pan. It goes both ways. It's that powerful, and as we keep going, it's gonna turn into a monster. It's gonna make us millionaires. I'm telling you. We're gonna be like these rappers. We drop a mixtape and we, you know what I'm saying, we get a major deal, and it's after that. Now we on top of the world.
I just want my big pan chain with that big old chunk with that big tenor pan where you can see all the notes. Diamond studded out. I want a C, diamond on the C, F, B flat. I want all that go around and forth today. All of that diamonds, you know what I'm saying? Some silver lining, all kind. You know, I just want all that good stuff. This is where pan is at right now. We can't see ourselves on the floor no more. We not in the mud no more. It's not about a panyard in the corner, under the bush, in the back of the mountains, and all kind of craziness right now. Those days is over. Pan stars, baby. We out here doing big.
Yeah.
Like I said, we out here like rappers. We like trap. Right now, pan is so dangerous is that it's in hip hop. And hip hop right now is the new rock and roll, tell you the truth. You know, and not just hip hop, but trap music is the new rock and roll to the world. Pan is one of the established instruments in trap hip hop music right now. That's a fact. Fred Steele said it, FH3 said it, quote me behind it. Pan is officially one of the trap instruments. If you're making trap beats right now, you need to get a steel drum tone and get it popping as a youth right now. Trust me, we out there. We out here, I should say. You dig what I'm saying? So now, and why I would say that, because we got facts. We got songs to stamp behind us. We got 50 Cent's PIMP, Hot Tune. We got Mediocre. We got
Young Travis Scott, Pick Up the Phone, just came out.
There we go. We got, what else we got on the cut there? We got
Soulja Boy.
Chop Chop.
There we go.
Yasin Bey, Chop Chop, Soulja Boy.
We got that Soulja Boy. You dig? This is how deep. These are the kind of names we calling is people that influence the hip hop nation and just the hip hop nation, the entire world. How the hip hop culture has now accepted us. Remember, there's two brand new cultures getting together. So just imagine the future. You got to think, we don't think about now. We think about the future. That's pan fusing the newest instrument, fusing with the newest music. The newest rock and roll right now. I mean, come on. That's a perfect marriage. You know, this is where we at with our pan. Not only that, we got some of the great guys like Robert Greenwich, who happens to be my godfather. Just throw a shout out there. Robbie, big up, back up. You know, he's done stuff like Just the Two of Us, popular songs. Robbie has done, played with some of the greatest. Just name it. He's Jimmy Buffett, personal percussionist / panist.
Yeah, which is a powerful thing too.
Yeah, that's really big. That's big to the pan community. Mad love, you know. So this is where pan is headed. We got the Boogsie Sharpes that's out there doing the thing. We got two lefts out there across the waters. You dig what I'm saying, Lilo?
Yeah. And I especially love the variety of a panist out there too, because they don't just stick into like playing calypso, and they're not sticking to playing reggae, and it's not just hip hop. There's a lot of panists out there that do rock and roll, panists out there that play in their pan like a banjo out there. Like pan is just pervasive in music in its entirety. You know, nothing holds us back from doing whatever we want to do. If we have some music that we want to play, we play the music because it's an instrument, and like any other instrument, we can do whatever sounds great with our pans as well. You know.
It has its own identity, but still it's in our hands to do it. Well, anyone's hands who pick it up. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's a blank canvas just waiting for you to give it some color, give it some life. As well as the life it has itself, you know, it has a spirit, it has a jumbie. That's what traps people in the vice grip that is steelpan. But to us who are children of the hip hop era, it's nothing. It's like we play hip hop every day with the steelpan. It doesn't get as much shine because everybody wants to take it back to the 50s and the 60s. Oh, I want to hear Lil Bird. Oh, I want to hear Yellow Bird. Oh, I want to hear Bob Marley. Yeah, that's cool. But right now we trying to play Fetty Wap. Right now we trying to play Young Thug. Right now we trying to, put our little piece of swag on top of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's in the hands of the beholder, or in the eye of the beholder. It's up to us to give it its identity.
Right, and the leaders have to be able to lead it and yes, give it its identity, and the people at the top have to be able to accept it, because remember this, the generation before or a couple generations before music, they always gonna have a on prejudice opinion that their music is the better music at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's always happened. The 20s come in with new music, the people from 1910 say X, Y, Z. The 60s come with new music, the people from the 50s talk about that music is devil music. If we come with hip hop music, our parents talking about that ain't how we used to do it, Marvin Gaye and da 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 da. Now trap music come in, we talking about that's not how Biggie used to do it.
Absolutely.
We always gonna become playing, and no matter what, the thing about it is we gotta keep setting trend and keep setting pace with this dangerous instrument. Now I got a quick question, right? We had this thing come out the other day, the electronic pan, the electronic steel pan, the electric steel pan, the E-pan, right? They have a couple of versions of it, the E-pan, the pan, the right? What else?
And then the pan
cat or something like. I think one of them was.
It's the one that's just flat. It's
right,
like this,
right. And you played almost like an MPC. MPC
like
kind of vibe.
Yeah, that way it has a little kind of hexagon like.
Yeah, so it comes looking kind of like a big drum machine kind of thing.
Yeah,
right. So now my question is, how dangerous of an instrument do you guys think this is? Because that's pretty deep, yo. A lot of people think that it took away from the natural instrument itself and it's going to kill it and water it down.
I don't think so. I just think that it's it's not a transition, but it's a gradual thing. We're going to get there and we're going to take it further, but it's not to leave the conventional steel band in the dust. It's not to take away from that. And it's kind of like you have to start there. What I don't want is I don't want people to jump straight to the E-pan or the 5-pan because
and don't understand
that because it's it's better if you transition from one to the other or take them both at the same time. Which might be expensive, but hey, put money in the culture.
Boom. Hey.
Yeah.
You know that's what it's about, though, right?
Yeah.
Boost the economy, baby.
Yeah.
It was definitely an eventuality. Like, it was going to happen. With every instrument, there's an electric version to it, right? Except for wind instruments.
No. There's electronic saxophones and all of that, too.
Iwi.
What about the flute?
Yeah, they got that, too.
It's electronic everything.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? People don't jump on an Iwi and be like, yeah, I'm a saxophone player. No.
Right, yeah, but whether it's the artificial pan or the real pan is pan. You dig what I'm saying? Nobody don't say nothing.
The sound jumps out when they hear it on the track. That's why it gets picked. That's just the
basically
obvious.
Pan is pan. Nobody don't say nothing when you hear a little grand piano played on an electric piano. So it's the same old vibe. They say that wasn't a real grand piano on the recording. Nobody had no time for that. Pan is pan as long as
it would be nice
culture,
so that, you know what I'm saying, you could get a little paper, you get a little credits, holla at me.
Well, I bet that. You know what I'm saying? Be out here to eat, right? You know what I'm saying? We want some money too. That's how dangerous the instrument is. Like I said, the I actually think that's a really dangerous idea. Dangerous in the nature that it gives us a chance to, like, you know, walk into the offices of a guy like Jay-Z or a Puffy Band or any. Put it this way, I just put those as top guys in the game, right? But there's a lot of those guys aren't ignorant, right? But there's a lot of ignorant minds that are at the top of the game right now within the hip hop and R&B, soca even. That sometimes you, as a panist, you're a really good musician musically, but you can't get no play in the band because they expect you to go ping, 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 because that's their sound of what they think you're going to come and do over their music.
But the problem I have is that it makes you more of a technician than a musician because you're playing, when you do that, all right, you're playing in the shape of a pan, but you're not really playing pan. So my first point where you need to be able to play the original style of the pan, the conventional pan, the steel pan, so that when you transition to the E-pan so that you're technically proficient. Because it takes a kind of proficiency to play that E-pan as well. Right. It looks easy, but it's still kind of, you need a touch, you need the technique.
Right.
And to me, it takes away from being a panist on a set of a new venue for us. As you say, playing with a soca artist and so they're not ready for the steel pan. But you bring them an E-pan, they're gonna want you to do the MIDI thing. They're gonna want you to say, "Oh, that's cool, do that."
Right. And I totally agree with that too. You know, but you know, I try to see the international value on it, and I say to myself, it's another gig that a panist didn't have. And as a panist, you're not just a panist because you're playing a drum, so you're like a percussionist. So it's no problem to bring the E-pan and bring your pan and bring maybe a little scratcher or a cowbell or this and that, because it's all trinkets and part of your arsenal.
Absolutely.
You dig what I'm saying? So I truly appreciate the fact that they made this dangerous, adventurous, bold, boisterous move in our community where we gonna knock it, because you know how we get down in our pack community. We knock anything that come through the door. If we ain't do it, we gonna knock it. Mm-hmm. But I figured it's a really bold move, but it was a really cool move because it puts us in places where we can now introduce. Sometimes before you could give it to the public the way we should really give it to the public, you got to give it to the way they're gonna accept it, and then gradually build them up sometimes. So you might have to go into the community maybe with the E-pan, get access or like a key card into the community, and then there's gonna be that moment where you could just break open and Jay-Z might say, hey, get a pan man some. And he ain't gonna want that electric drum to sound, he ain't gonna want that sitar and that MIDI sound. He gonna say, get a pan man some, like get a drum or some, he gonna say, get a pan man some. And whenever you pull up your pan right there, boom, and even if you pull up the pan tone within the electric pan, I still respect you, because you could have picked any tone, but you decided to pick the pan tone, and I still show you some love. So if you go out there and you if you get us a deal for the pan community using that electric pan, I ain't mad at it. It's a dangerous tool in the pan community right now, and it's definitely something that needs to be taken advantage of. Now, the price of it right now, hey, so many of you guys, we got to talk about it. It is what it is. I'm just saying, though, you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to bring it down. Remember, it is lots of unprivileged people. Your price is way too high. Yes, cut it.
She's fresh. Yes. So fresh. Okay. She's fresh, the fresh. Shorty get it poppin' all the time in the club. Said what you need, baby girl, said it does. I do it cause she bad. 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 Shawty bring a friend, more drinks, pour it up. Let you do your thing, little mama, turn it up. She do it cause she bad. She do it cause she bad. She do it cause she bad.
I don't know what everybody's different path and pan has been, but for mine, it's been a dangerous road. It's a risky and chancy road. Mm-hmm. You out late nights coming home in the panyards. You a young kid. You coming from Brooklyn back to the city. You got to say traveling trains. You in the hood. You thugging. You doing things you shouldn't be doing, other than playing pans just to stay alive and survive, and do it. You know what I'm saying? Make it to the next day. Because at the end of the day, you're a pan man. You're an artist. And we all know the artist life. Forget pan man. We know the artist life is always a risky, dangerous kind of thing. So for me personally, coming up in my time, I did a lot of skipping school to do gigs, a lot of running from this one. I got in a lot of fights, being in places I shouldn't have been in, pan yards maybe I shouldn't have been in, leaving home too late, XYZ. We all know what it is out there as a pan man. We all got our different walks, some a little lighter than others. But nevertheless, it's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous instrument. It comes from a lot of thugging, a lot of gangster, a lot of people clashing, a lot of bands clashing against each other. That's why the competitive spirit is so high within the pan community, which competition is a great thing because it brings the best out of us, but it also can bring the worst out of us. This is why Trinidad is such a great community on the overhaul. You get what I'm saying? Being such a competitive. Within competition, there's danger. You know how much people kill just to be number one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the pan community is based on that. Everybody want to be the baddest pan man, the number one pan is the best soloist, the best seconds man, best tenor man, best arranger. Even in Trinidad and Tobago today, you go to school, it's who come first in test. Mm-hmm. It's best village, it's best dance this, best that, all of, you know what I'm saying? So it's always, within competition, there's a lot of danger, and a lot of competitive nature creates that dangerous atmosphere, which can cause fights, shoot-ups. Just the other day in Brooklyn, we had a shootout. Imani, I know you had to hear about that. I think it was one of them panyards. I ain't calling no names or whatever the case is, but they drove by, shot up the panyard and all kind of craziness.
Damn.
So pan is a dangerous thing. Just imagine the kids that was in there practicing. Or not even the kids, the adults, the parents and all of that was there. They might not even be alive to take care of their kid. To make them another great panist or whatever the case is, to steer them on that right path. Pan is a dangerous thing, man, and this is the kind of community we coming up here in New York, too. You know that, Imani, you in the culture, you've been around. Rados, the Casims, the Despas, the this, the that, you know how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Pan. I grew up, I mean, just like Trinidad, the way there's so many parallels between the African American uh, culture and the Caribbean African culture, Afro culture, whatever race you were in Trinidad. It's still cosmopolitan all day, but it's like, okay, so Pan is something that is, let's just call it what it is. People are intimidated by the strength of Pan and the ability and just the ignorance of not knowing what it is and the power it has over the youth and those involved. So it then evolves into something that's widely accepted and also used against us and without us. So it's making money for people that once shamed it and shamed the people that used it. Same thing like African Americans growing up in hip hop. Growing up in America, you create hip hop, which is something to rebel against the oppression that you feel. And now it's being used without us. There are a few of us who capitalize off of it, but they still capitalize on us because of the power that hip hop holds. Same thing with, and it comes out of the struggle. It comes out of it's from the ghetto, it's from the hood. No matter where it is, there's a hood everywhere. So I grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn, and thank God my mother introduced me to steelpan right there on Parkside in Ocean. And I was an observer as well as a participator. So I've seen the violence, I've seen the drug activity, I've seen the sexual activity, it's like you're thrust into a musician's life at a young age. And it's all right there, crammed into this little hole.
I see you crip walking one time while you was playing back in the day. You used to crip walk and play the pan. I ain't lying. That's true talk. Fact.
Yeah, okay. But hey, it was a crip neighborhood. What can you do?
I was going to see if you was going to try to make me look like a liar on
I got
national.
homeboys on both sides. Crips, Bloods, they got they flagging while they playing the intro. Yeah, let's go.
While they play the intro, you dig?
And it's a pan, like the whole pan community, the spirit is like it creates a fire, whether it's positive or negative. Like I've seen people they were so pissed off at either a manager, the band, the sound, that they drove into the stands. Pans hit the floor, people running for their lives. They drove a car down Pan Alley and drove right into the stand because it lit some kind of fire in them. Something.
But if you're gonna say that, you gotta talk about them. Yeah, the Pan's so dangerous, yo. When they call the wrong results, for example, them years like Dingole and all that, how much bottles flying in the air and all that kind. When Pan Rebels ain't win that year and all kind of crazy.
Throw people up the stage.
From time you hear and such place, before you can even finish saying the name, is bottles ringing across the. You get what I'm saying?
That's what you hear.
How much judges survived that year? You know, I don't know. How much of them get busted? You know what I'm saying?
Next year, right?
Yeah.
In the same.
With 363 points. 350. Yeah, I know who I'm talking about. I'm mashing. Y'all know I don't even know how she survived them bottles, but you know what I mean?
She part of the problem,
354 bottles.
For real. She's that drama that you need, you know what I'm saying?
That's really interesting though, because like my experience growing up with Pan is like vastly different from the history and even your individual histories for Pan. Because me growing up, like the first instance for Pan for me, growing up in Trinidad, was like my mother forcing me to go to Pan lessons at a church in town. And I didn't want to be there at all. I was like 12 years old. I was playing tennis. I was swimming. It was too much for me to do already. And I did not want to be there. And I hated it. I hated playing Pan. I loved the music theory. And I loved like taking the exams and everything, but because I love solving problems. But like as far as like actually playing the Pan and being in that church, I did not want to be there. And when I fell in love with Pan was actually when I left Trinidad and I started taking lessons with my uncle's Pan program up in Rockland County with the Eclipse Steel Band, and we really started playing in a more suburban neighborhood. There was no violence because there were no other bands that we were competing with like that or anything like that. It was just us and our music.
So you never bust a man's head?
No, never. Not for Pan.
No cutlash?
No.
No bottles?
No.
Well,
there were bottles.
Over girls?
I mean,
you're lying.
There's
if
like
that's the case, knowing you, son, you're lying.
There were like obviously there's gonna be like arguments for like different petty shit. I mean, we're human beings, but as far as like the experience,
Don't touch my girl bottom.
You think Americans talk like that?
Yeah, I forgot y'all was in a whole. That's a whole new world up there.
Yeah. The first time they hear an accent was when I rolled in. Honestly, they didn't know.
Oh wow, it's straight like natural born Americans.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like their parents were like Trinidadian and like Guyanese and Bajan and things like that. But like as far as like somebody coming straight from the islands and showing like an actual like a native that was fresh from there, that was their first experience with that. Yeah. I mean, in that sense, that pan is danger in our lives. It definitely, like, even though we grew without conflict, in my experience, and then, like, the Eclipse Steel Band's experience, it still touched our lives so profoundly that a lot of the members, if not all of the members that graduated college and are still moving forward with their other professional careers, we take the steel pan culture and everything that it's taught us to heart, and we bring it in everything that we do. You know, like the kind of love and passion that we brought to steel pan and playing our music, and the kind of community that we built for ourselves is the same things that we look for in our professional careers, the same things that we looked for in college, and it's the same passion that we're looking for to make our money in what we do for sustenance.
We on the road, 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 we on the road.
Care how much good things you tell me about up there in Eclipse. I could tell you some stories about Eclipse, and I wasn't even a part of Eclipse band. I could give you some stories right now about some girl drama and all of that kind of stuff. You dig what I'm saying? That actually sparks a unit. You know what I'm saying? Because negative and positive is what makes a light bulb light. You know, it's the two different filaments that, even with a magnet, that's what make magnets attract. You dig what I'm saying? You gotta have that north and south pole. You dig? So it go together. You know, so that negative in steel band ain't necessarily a negative. Sometimes it brings the best out. Like we say, the competitive spirit sometimes brings the best out. You dig what I'm saying? That's why some of the steel drum musicians right now, some of the greatest musicians out there right now, they're very versed right now. They're becoming very theoretical, and they studying hard because of the competitive spirit that's installed in there. So you can't tell me there wasn't no drama up there in Eclipse. Unless you want me to expose some of y'all.
When you're talking about busting
like
head and like pelting bottle and people
that's
driving,
a degree,
there's
different
forms of drama. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I say. There had to be a little.
It can't be green roses and peaches. Not with Pan. Pan don't bring roses and peaches.
Yo, one thing with Pan, I hate to say it, but I realize it in a lot of places I've gone. It always comes with a kind of disorganized energy. It always comes with a infighting somewhere. This one don't like that one. Let's break apart, create our own organization. Let's break apart, create our own band. Let's do this. Forget them. Even though we so small, sometimes it's always this kind of raw, negative, or just conflicting energy in there.
But listen, you are part of the culture. You're a part of what goes on. I see the beads on your neck and all of that. You should understand the entities that come with steel to begin with. You understand what I'm saying? And it ain't no regular thing. You understand what I'm saying? This is one of the elements of the earth right now. And when you're talking about higher forms and higher spiritualities and stuff, steel is already attract a certain energy.
So you took that energy to create it. You're right. It took that conflict between the metal and the hammer.
Yeah, but then if you want to talk about like steel is a refined version of an element, right?
There you go.
You can't really say that steel is inherent, like because we're playing steel drum, it's inherently violent, or it must have conflict or something.
No, I said it naturally has conflict.
Yeah,
no matter
I mean, like
where.
Anything. But like, I mean, for us
it's
to
a
actually,
different level. I'm telling you. When I tell you,
but I think
from
it's
a
a different level.
value, it's very different.
But is it different because it's natural, or is it different because it's new and it's raw still?
No, it's different because of what it is and where it came from.
Yes.
That's why it's different. That's why this pan is like. That's why it's so powerful and so dangerous. It's its own complete energy. It's its own entity. It's like you can't even put it into words. You have to actually be a part of it and experience it. Some people get it in a little dose just by hearing a note. Some people get it by being fully immersed in it and growing up in it. But you experience it and you are aware of it, how powerful and how it has its own spirituality, just being a drum, just being steel.
But I mean, like you said before, there are different levels to the conflict. And to me, like, how long we've been playing steel pan and how long we've known the conflict that can ensue within a steel pan like this, creating an organization that kind of reigns a little bit control over that experience, or at least the violence that comes from being in a steel band and competing for panorama. Why don't we have some entity like that exists that operates efficiently? And is that something that's natural for Pan, or is that something that we've just been fighting against?
Let me talk spirituality. They were supposed to do something with the old people that they didn't do, so there's this ensuing conflict. All right, let me take it to my people who like anime. All right, so we have Ashura and Indra. You know what I'm saying? They have a conflict that started hundreds of years ago that they didn't resolve spiritually. So their spirits are reincarnated into generations and generations, and they never resolved the conflict because they never dealt with the conflict that came from back in the day, that spiritual conflict. So it just continues and continues and continues until there's one person, Naruto, who realizes that initial spirit, that Indra or Ashura, the one who realized that love is necessary for the world to come together. He takes that spirit and never ending. He's like a rock. You can't break him. So there's something that needs to be dealt with that's never dealt with. And sometimes we blame the managers and say, okay, they're too greedy, so we can never move forward. We can never come together as a community. There are things that were never dealt with spiritually when it comes to this pan and this community that just causes it to be reincarnated or wherever it's reborn.
But it's not a singular person. So then what is that actual
it's steel,
spark?
Baby. Man of steel. Even Superman said it. He said man of steel. You see how Boogsie just hit that drum? Man of steel. You understand the vibes that has come with this instrument? Even down to the Norels and them too. As sweet as he tried to play, he just still come across with his little... It's just an entity that comes with the entity.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know, it's steel.
Yeah, but that... Like, I mean... When I talk about conflict and when I talk about the energy, I'm not talking about the passion that we have for the instrument, because it's clear no matter who picks up the pan, we're going to love it or hate it, right? But I'm talking about the experience that we're making for the kids, the experience that we're making growing up in a panyard, and the experience that we're giving for people competing for panorama. Like, does that always have to be violent? Is that really inherent in steel pan?
No, it doesn't.
Go to the middle of the country. Go to Ohio.
Listen,
exactly, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about...
But listen, and even in steel band, it's the one place you're going to hear, all of we is one family. It's one place, because even in your closest family, mother fighting father, father fighting son, son killing father, mother killing daughter, daughter killing granny. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we ain't talking pan right now. We talking life. You dig what I'm saying? So it's just certain things that you just can't run from.
Yeah, but it's still something that we can moderate.
Right, and we want to, because we want to create that clean generation. Of course, we want it. What it's called, what's the word? Evolution. The evolution of pan. We don't want the evolution of the pan to be based on all this drama and conflict and the bad energies and entities coming together. Mm-hmm. But certain things.
And then again, pan is very profitable. So some people can see and smell the money coming off that thing.
You know,
that
with money, with money alone, that can create a bunch of drama.
Yeah, so
I bet y'all had some of that up there up in Equinox, huh? Yeah, a little bit of that.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Equinox, what's that band?
I don't know what he's talking about. Eclipse.
Equinox, that was the second group.
Yeah, that was the second group.
Yeah, I don't know my...
that was drama.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Drama. If you want to get into that, that's fine. But let's not tell lies.
Okay.
Let's not tell lies.
Oh no, we loved each other.
Oh, upstate, we just function on flowers and petals. We never had any drama.
We held
now all of a sudden,
down the street.
all of a sudden the truth comes out.
Holding hands, whistling.
Yeah. Eclipse is the only band in the whole entire world
that
never had no drama in it. You think? I want to know what community has steel in it, pipe.
You wildin'.
Steel and pipe inside the thing and don't have no drama.
I didn't say there was no drama. I said my experience compared to yours and Iman's is vastly different because there was no violence like the way there was in your history.
But from what I hear, Equinox and Eclipse was again ready to come to violence. What was going on?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, explain
hot
the story,
topics, hot topics.
You're going to have to invite someone else from Eclipse or Equinox to try to argue that because I don't know nothing about what you're talking about.
You dig what I'm saying? But we was just talking about all the little drama and the entities that steel brings about. I guess steel Steel brought some drama up in Eclipse and Equinox too. I thought no drama. You never been around drama in Pan?
In Eclipse? Oh no.
Oh, in Eclipse. Oh, no.
You see, trying to trip me up. You gotta be specific, man.
Eclipse, not Equinox. Eclipse. Almost the same amount of syllables. I'm about to Equinox. Eclipse of the two. Okay.
So
right.
those are different syllables. See, clearly because Freddy is wrong about this one instance in counting syllables. How can we trust him about anything else?
But it sounds like the same person named the band.
3 syllables. No. How trustworthy is your word now? Can you count syllables, Freddy?
You have a point. yeah, I did mess up. But at least I could admit to the drama in the Pan community, and you try to put Eclipse in a special category of no drama. And you know what Steel, the entity Steel alone gonna bring about some drama. So I know it's all kind of pipe fitting was going on in that band that wasn't supposed to go on. All kind of things like that. We didn't even just talk about the music, you know. It's pipe fitting that has come with Steel. And men in the band with Steel. Causing band to break into two and all kind of things like that. But you know what I love about when bands break up though? Is that when one break up, it causes another band to be formed, which enhances the steel drum industry. Because another band is always needed. It come like a new team, like when the Toronto Raptors just got inducted into the NBA right now, or the new team from Oklahoma just got in, or, you know, it always expands. It's expansion teams, you know what I'm saying? So the more bands, the merrier, tell you the truth. So I ain't mad at Equinox and Eclipse making 2 bands. That's 2 more bands that Upstate didn't have. Mm-hmm. You dig what I'm saying? So I love the vibe in that, but you can't tell me, sit up here with your little sweet face. I could call out names, but I ain't gonna call out.
You're here gossiping like the Esquire. You hold here like a tabloid trying to cause drama.
I ain't calling no names, though. I'm gonna just keep
exactly.
it simple.
So unless you got proof, unless you could call names,
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I could call names, but I ain't gonna call names because right sitting next to you on your left hand side and have a chick that playing for Utopia. She's a very influential person in Utopia right now. You can't tell me that there's no... Well, that's my left.
Well, I don't know. You can count to 3 earlier. I just want to make sure.
If I can't count to 3 and you don't know left from right.
I just want to ensure that you know what you're talking about.
How you gonna know wrong from right? You dig what I'm saying? You feel me? So like I was just saying, you got your homegirl over here, Imani, IP1, because she just had IP2. What they do, right? So IP1 in the cut over there with Utopia. And hey, as much as I love my IP1, listen, they got drama in Utopia too. I could pull some cards, but I ain't gonna say nothing either. I know all kind of drama that's going on in Utopia.
I mean, we've been around a long time, so things happen.
I figured you might say something
over 20 years, maybe
if you try to pull
20 years now, 96, holla at me. Hey.
Big up it. If you would have only tried to pull a Kahlil on me just now and talk about ain't no drama in Utopia, I'd have said, huh? I'd have looked at you with the face like, you ain't that. You cannot be serious. Listen, this Pan community, we just can't help it. We just like drama. It functions on drama.
If you're trying to get me to backtrack, you seem to be trying to get me to backtrack and take my words back, but I'm not Hillary Clinton. All right?
Let's talk about the man who's pulling cards. Like, where you come from? Sesame?
You're right?
Is there not
how
many stories have we heard come out of this kind of marriage between FH3 and Sesame? But hey, it needs to happen for love to happen, right?
I like Sesame Street. That's actually a great show. It's good, no, it's very instrumental. Sesame Street is very influential.
Let's make a distinction.
No. It's very influential to the kids because Othello Molino was the first one that got that first play on Sesame Street. With the pan, you remember that little thing?
And I remember in 2005 when you did a beautiful arrangement for Sesame Flyers, you know what I'm saying? I think that's where it started. That's like where the love started, and then something happened. I mean, can we call it drama?
Was it something to do with pipe?
Wow. Yo, this boy, he went there. Yo. But nevertheless, what we talking about is drama in the Pan community. You dig what I'm saying? Whether it's in Sesame Street, whether it's in Utopia, whether it's in Eclipse, Sesame Street,
what?
It don't matter.
Eclipse? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? it is what it is. Drama is drama. You feel me?
All I know is when I came into the Sesame Flyers for the first time, all I hear on the panyard was, how much inches a pipe? How much inches a pipe?
Well, you know Sesame is a real pipey band, you know. Y'all don't watch, even the mass organization, y'all don't watch them, you know, the real back analysis side of there, yo. You know what I'm saying? They go hard. You feel me? Yeah, that's a real whining band. But hey, nevertheless, pan is pan and drama is drama. In this pan community, one set of drama going down the road, and that's what makes pan so dangerous. Because we come out of danger, it makes all of us dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You dangerous in your own nature, whether it's in your sweet boy eclipse mode or not. She dangerous in her own nature, whether it's that utopia little sweet vibe in the cut.
It happens sometimes.
You know what I'm saying? We all come with a little edge on us. And one thing I like about a pan woman or pan man, or we should just say panist in general, is that most panists come with an edge, no matter how simple or how quiet or how thing they look. There's some form of an edgy side to them, which shows that little dangerous side, that hey, look out, don't look at me too wrong, don't touch me too thing, because you have to show it in the way you play that instrument too. Mm-hmm. Remember, it's a drum. You had to beat that drum too. I don't care if people that say don't say beat pan and but when Boogsie slapping up them notes, ain't nobody saying number don't beat pan. All you hearing is one set of notes coming at you, man or steel.
What Mr. Lovelace said, beat your drum and dance.
Yeah, it is what it is. Beat pan.
It
Kitchen say beat pan, pam 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 pam, beat pan, pam pam. Yeah, it is what it is. That's the name of the song. That's one of our most historical songs, pan in A minor. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, man or steel. We in Superman nature right now. Man or steel, play that pan. You know what I'm saying? We dangerous. It is what it is. If you look at me wrong, I might take my 2 sticks and chuck you in the eye like a Chinese. You know what I'm saying?
Only until I tell you that my mom's name is Martha. Am I
right? Shots.
Yo, so here it is, right? My pop's on a gig, right? We doing a gig. And this nigga playing me. Oh, yeah, beep that for me, right? So he playing some pan and all that good. And we take a break. And he goes in the bathroom. He go to use the bathroom and all that good. So there's this guy comes across now. He doesn't understand the culture, right? He's a Caucasian guy. We could talk openly in these new days. It's a Caucasian guy. He comes across to the drum, and my father just happened to leave his sticks inside the drum. So my father's in the bathroom peeing. And he hearing somebody going to town on his pan. Or he hearing this bang, 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 like this. This guy just knocking the mess out his pan, right? So daddy comes across, he come from my time, I pop some Laventil. They don't play down there. Laventil, listen, hey, I'm standing up for that because that's part of my history and stuff. Home of steel pan. Inventors of the steel pan. Laventil, Trinidad and Tobago. Big up 10 times, right? But my pops, just his double tenor, being played like somebody about to murk the drum or pound another hole in it or some kind of craziness. So my pops comes outside and he reblistic in his own little value. And he snatches the sticks out of the dude's hand and he takes the stick. My pops a little different. He takes the stick and everybody know my pops know he gonna do something like this. He takes the stick and hits the dude on his hand with it. So he snatches the sticks out of his hand and then hits him on the head. Gun. Daddy be wrapping some big rubber. So that stick heavy. And he takes it and bam, he said, yo, man, don't be doing that to be hitting my pan like that. He said, look at this, man. You broke my sticks and all that kind of craziness. I said, what's up with that? That's what my pop said. And then the dude looks at me and goes, man, you need to get better sticks, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Yo, this is the kind of, so you got to have this mentality when you playing pan. You got to have this boss up kind of thing like, don't touch my pan. One of the, you know, what's funny about pan is we don't understand. We watch all the saxophone players like Charlie Parker and these guys. They got reputations because they were bad dudes in the end of the day because it shows in the way they play their acts, the way they play the instrument. These were thugs. Charlie Parker, these guys, thugs. I mean, no matter how we try to put it to the world right now, King Curtis and them, they're thugs. Dudes sit with guns and they racing knives and all kind of craziness. You know what I mean? So I don't want to just label this down to pan alone, but as a musician on the whole, you got to have a certain amount of gangster and a certain amount of conflict with you. Nobody in America, nobody don't like the good guy. The good guy don't get elected for the president.
You're just talking about
you gotta there you go. You got to have some killer instinct inside of you. And that's what I love about the pan community is that it's so dangerous in there. You have no choice but to come out. I don't care. Even if you come from Eclipse, whether you're coming out with a business mind, edgy side of you, or you learned a lesson that you won't make that mistake there and you won't make that mistake XYZ or whatever the case is, you get some form of edge, a dangerous edge to you that comes with being an artist, musician, or even worse yet, a pan man or woman. And then note, a lot of times these pan groups are coming out some real ghetto neighborhoods too, some real hooded out hoods. Some of the best bands too coming out of there. Flatbush pushing out some of the greatest bands.
Come on.
You know, it is what it is, you know.
From the basements, we come inside the little holes, you know what I'm saying? We're never in a nice, pretty... We've never got a I mean, I say never, but we don't always get a fair
Shot,
chance,
right.
fair handout, fair shot. So,
Glass buildings and all
you
that
know what I'm
good stuff.
saying?
2 stories and all that.
before we got here, we had a couple crackheads. We had to run out the hole. But
Yeah.
hey,
Yo,
it is what it
you remember
is.
Pan Alley? Yo, we living so dangerous, dude. For Panorama, when the bands couldn't get a chance to get spots to rehearse in. Yeah, I didn't want to call no names, but my man Tony, y'all know how we do. Tony, yo, big up my dudes. He did a lot for the history of Pan in New York. I must say he did a lot for the history of Pan in New York. Tony took some of the most dangerous chances, man. He opened up a strip and opened up where every band could come on there and practice. Pantonics, Metro, everybody got a piece. One Umoja, Utopia, New Tone, everybody on one strip. You know how much that did for the community that year? We had a Panorama because of him.
Again, you got to be bold. This man set
brave.
up on Nostrand Avenue. Put a steel pan right there on Nostrand Avenue between Clarkson and Lennox. I will never forget it.
It's
He's like, we
historical.
practicing right now. There you go.
That's what it takes to be a pan man. You had to live dangerous. We living dangerously. Tony living too dangerous for me. But it is what it is. That shit, like, that really, yo, we used to come out. Yo, Iman, you know how much fun we used to have on them strip when we was young back in them days?
Absolutely.
You understand what he created for us as used to see all of them Panorama bands go down? We didn't even have to travel from there to there to there. We went on one strip and we saw all the Panorama bands. The man wasn't really even paying no rent.
And then look there. There was
He
never.
just broke in some. It come like don't quote me on this, right? But it come like he just broke in to some warehouses and said, "Hey, all you come. Let me set up shop. Bring everybody, bring your pans. You ain't gonna pay no set of rent. Just come and let's go."
All the conflict and negative energy we talk about, there's probably about 4 or 5, maybe 6 bands on that block. Never had a fight between the bands.
Right. You understand what I'm
We was all
saying?
practicing peacefully. We was all getting the job done.
There you go.
And then we go on the stage and we fight for that number 1 spot. But on the block, it was all love.
It was still all love. Although we had a little thing here and there, you know what I'm saying?
it's
Small
gonna
thing. You
happen,
can't
but
help.
still.
But like I said, steel band is plenty pipe passing and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking big steel, small steel, in between steel, all kind of steel. Steel that
Fat steel,
pipes that turn to the
skinny
left,
steel,
to the right.
long steel, short steel.
PVC.
Yes. Yeah, you get it.
All kind of steel going down inside
The shape
of there.
and steel, right angle steel.
Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? Acute angle, obtuse steel, all kind of craziness. But it is what it is. You know, we're going to have our little drama within this steel
It's a
band.
nice steel
Band name, I call it Up to Steel.
No.
Obtuse steel. I'm not playing for that band. Obtuse steel? Who wants to play for obtuse steel? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, obtuse pipe. Take
Obtuse
obtuse
steel
pipe.
is this. Obtuse acute.
No. Obtuse steel? Nah. You don't want to go there.
I think Fred's having one of those moments where you can't count to 3.
No.
I think so.
You see,
And
y'all-
he said he was about Victorian. I'd
No,
like
no,
to
no.
go
You
and
see-
I want to see
check
the
that.
record.
That's what, here we go again. I like when I catch him on camera stiffing. You dig what I'm saying? We had this.
The camera cut out like
Oh, no! I'm about to put y'all in your faces again.
I didn't want to stop you.
I wanted to see the faces with this here. You know I was ready for you.
Find us, keepers, losers, reapers. Those that find shall walk through the door. Find us, keepers, losers, reapers. Those that find shall be.
But like I was saying, with all these bands on the strip, dude, we never had no big set of fights or nothing. I mean, it was very minute. Everything was really small, and you know what I'm saying? It's like the average that argument that you're gonna have. That's my pan, Sticks boy. Don't play my pan. Who teeth my pan? You're gonna have these kind of things that come with the culture. It is what it is. But we can all survive. That's like you said. There is that other side to this thing where it don't have to be no set of drama and all of that good stuff. We can all live on one block and make it happen.
That's honestly what brought us together, like me and you and me and Iman. Is that like no matter where we go or what real like specific small community we go into within the pan community, at the end of the day it's all love for this instrument and the music that we make. And I love that about the pan community. We walk in any small community and we fit in there because we love steel pan.
Absolutely.
And that energy that it brings us, that vibe, no matter what small or petty conflicts we run into, we vibe on the same vibe anywhere that we go. And that's really why pan is danger.
right, guys, that was episode 1. We hope you enjoyed it. If you guys want to continue the conversation with us, reach out to us on social media at Three Pannists on Instagram and Twitter. And you can find our Facebook page, Three Pannists Podcast, or you can go to our website at threepannistpodcast.com. If you want to donate to us, help us make the podcast better, give you a better quality episode and better quality stuff. We like stuff.
Yeah, I like stuff.
There's a link to our Patreon page on all of those sites as well. The music for this podcast was brought to you today by Freddy Harris III.
Voila! Yeah, we got the Blue Eye Bandit up on this thing next week. That should be hot. You feel me?
He's coming through with something that you ain't never seen before.
Well, more importantly, that you've never heard before. This is a podcast. Get your head in the fucking game.
And listen, if you as a panist like scales and you into all of these different technical sides of the music, you're going to enjoy this guy.
Because he is a whirlwind of notes and stuff. So it's awesome.
Ooh, stuff? I love stuff.
Stuff's the greatest.
I take that.